What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Back of the Burb, episode number 6. We were away for a week. We all had some stuff to do. But we're back now. We made it back. I am your host, Matt. And I'm all fucked up, you guys.
So what Matt's trying to say is that this week we have Jeremy. He's just kind of chilling in the corner right now next to Zara and Alex. And then obviously, you know, we got the good old Lord Beardsley over here.
Yep. Large guy. Me and my beard. We're like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, now that I can talk again.
So what did you do this week, Matt?
So yeah, we're starting off with our weeks. We all had some pretty interesting weeks. We all had some stuff to do, like I said last week. So that's why we had the week off. But we all have some stories for you. Starting with me, my week was pretty wild. I actually adopted a cat from Ukraine.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, she was. After the war started, she was moved to Poland, and then she stayed there for a while, and then she went to Germany for the flight from Germany to Boston. We picked her up there and brought her home, and she's doing really well. She was really, really affectionate right when we got her.
Oh, perfect.
We weren't sure if she was going to be terrified. We had no idea. She was on an airplane for God knows how long.
Oh, yeah. Did you enjoy that Logan traffic with all the construction going on? I had to pick up my parents last night, and it was a nightmare.
Was it?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. It was going back was kind of bad because we were going back around 5. So that's kind of to be expected.
Oh, yeah.
But going in wasn't bad. And for the most part, going back wasn't that bad. We were moving. It was just, you know how Boston traffic is.
Oh, yeah. No, I was there, and with the construction going on, the way Terminal B ends, and then you have Terminal E right there, and it all kind of merges in on arrivals, and, you have 6 lanes merge into one, and then as it goes, you have another set of lanes merge into one, and then it forks off. Mm-hmm. But instead, where it's normally supposed to fork off to go into Terminal E, you had to go out to the left as if you were to leave. But that's also where it comes around to go straight into E without going through C or anything like that. So then that was a line. It was just like a parking lot along with all these 6 lanes merged in, going into E. When it's people are just trying to get out, dude, there's this one guy, I wanted to go over there and just start beating this guy. This guy's sitting there. No, dude, he's in a Cadillac, an Escalade with HIDs, and he's mad. He's mad, and everyone's all mad. It's dude, we're not going to go anywhere because of all this other crap going on. You're not going anywhere before I'm going anywhere because I'm 3 cars ahead of you. But he literally he pulled himself out just enough so he could get his headlight out, and he would turn his lights off, turn them on, flick the brights on, turn them off. Only it was click, 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 constant. So the whole time you're just sitting there, it's just flashing lights, trying to give people seizures.
There's always the one guy in the traffic who just wants to go, but he can't, so he just starts doing obnoxious things like that.
Dude,
yeah,
nothing like Massachusetts.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, if you really want to see what hell's like, just ask people from Massachusetts to merge. It's horrendous. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what it's for. If it's 2 lanes merging, it just becomes you might as well just bust out a smash turn to decide who's going next. It sucks. It's the worst.
Once someone's committed to merging, they will merge. Whether you're there or not, they're going to get it. They're going to,
Dude,
they're going
even
to take
the police there are dipshits about it. No, you know what? I don't even want to. My blood's boiling.
I didn't get to see them at this time because we actually didn't go to the airport to pick the cat up. We went to this warehouse type place, but when you go to Logan Airport and you go to where you pick people up outside, there are these cops with cars, and their job is to sit there and anybody who stops
anybody
for
who's
too long,
in the way, they just honk
beep, 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 and they drive in circles.
Nuisance.
It's great.
That is your specific.
They get hired for that too. That's amazing.
It's aggravating, but when I first saw it, I found it pretty entertaining.
Welcome to Logan.
It's this is actually a cool job. Dude, I would love to do that.
Welcome to Boston.
They interviewed the guy, and he's just so you're going to pay me $25 an hour, 40 hours a week to hit the horn and annoy people? Yeah. Well, where do we sign?
Yeah.
This is too good to be true. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
How many horns do you think that guy's gone through in one of those cars?
Oh, dude.
You think they go through more than one a year?
And there's the one where they just mat it and just go bing.
It's like a custom one because it's not as loud as a car horn, but it's there to just get your attention, but not to like deafen the entire
Yeah, right.
area. It's just beep, 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 beep. Like it's just really annoying and fast. Like,
You know what was really good is our friend Brian. He used to have a Chevy Cruze, I think. The little no, it was an Aveo. It was a Chevy Aveo, and the horns had 2 buttons you could press, and they were like if you had like a racing grip on a steering wheel, they were right where your thumbs want to be.
Oh, no.
And it was just like a regular clicking button, like almost like kind of like a mechanical keyboard. And if you hit it as fast as you could hit it, it would like fire the horn. So you had 2, and you could just be like, and it was like firing your lasers in an X-wing. This is perfect for a Star Wars nerd to be driving.
Yeah, exactly.
It was funny, dude.
That's fucking perfect.
Right, like anytime you'd see Brian at the time when he had that car, is like if he saw you, whatever, you just
Yeah, he set phasers to kill and yeah, nerd stuff.
to kill.
Yeah. So you got the cat.
What's the cat's name?
Her name is Zara.
Zara.
She is a Devon Rex, which is like she's tiny. She's like a year old, but she's really small. She looks like a little alien. I have pictures. I'll show you guys later.
Is that one of the hairless cats, or is that like very small?
She has like really fine, like cottony fur.
Oh, okay.
So she's super soft, but there are spots where she's like almost bald, but she's got this super fine. She's all white. She has like a little spot, a couple spots on her tail that are orange, but she's like all white.
Nice.
She is super cute and wild.
Yeah.
She
Young cats. They are a menace.
Yeah, we want to do we kept her in one room for the night. She wanted to leave like the whole time. It was like,
Yeah.
when we were in the car on the way back, we I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but we took her out of the cage.
Oh no.
And she didn't want to go back in, so I just kind of held her there. And it was like a full-time job keeping her from just wandering the entire car the whole time. But I had her on like a leash and stuff. But yeah, she was really adventurous and wants to see everything and climb on everything and whatever you would expect.
Looking at your cat on a phone, and that's a cool cat.
Yeah.
I definitely get the alien-looking thing.
Yeah.
Like I had to Google it and pull up Wikipedia.
Does she have the big
Oh
ears?
yeah, she has huge ears. Yep,
Nice.
it's great.
Yeah, here you go, Eddie. So you can see also. That's one of those where you're like, okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was about to say, the neighbors next door, they've got I forget the name of the cat, but it's like one of the ones that's like it's like a mini cat. So it's like only half the size of like a normal cat. Like
my
it's
God,
small.
it's tiny.
Like it's like a wiener dog cat. So
Wiener dog cat.
yeah. He's super nice, but like he's like that's one of those ones too where you see and you're like, what? So how old is he? Is he like 3 months, 4
Like
months?
14.
Yeah. 13,
14 years old.
You just kind of look at the cat and the cat's like, I've been here longer than you've been alive.
Listen, man, I've seen some shit.
He's like, you see that stain on the wall? He's like, don't look at it too long.
You see that door jam? I did that. You get in my way, you're next.
You know. So I guess it's only a matter of time of like how long till she gets caught in like your room at night when you're trying to go to sleep or in the morning or whatever the hell. Because Jumper, the black cat, he's not down here right now. You'll know if he comes down here because he'll be like all looking for attention. But what he does is like if he gets caught in the room at night, like he'll go underneath the bed.
Oh,
underneath my
yeah,
bed,
of course.
And he'll sit there and he'll start trying to pull the blankets off. And like because he's solid black, you can't see him at night.
Yeah.
But like, or like if you turn on the lights half the time, like you just see like the claw. You just see like the arm and the claw come out, just like trying to grab something. He it's about a month ago. He got locked in my room one night and didn't even know it. So it's like 3. This is like a whole saga from like 2:45 to 3:30 in the morning. Like dog's freaking out. Like I don't know what's going on. Like Bowser wouldn't make up his mind. He's like running around. He's up and off in the bed and he was crying and everything. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it's like Bowser, dude, just lay down. Just lay down. Just get on the bed, lay down, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually after all this, he'll just like keep waking me up because he's crying over whatever. I'm like, dude, you're fine. Like you don't, I know you don't have to go. You sleep through the night, blah, blah, blah. You took a fat turd before we went to bed. Like, I know you're good,
empty.
Like I know you're good. And then just like at one point he just gets up because he's scared and he runs and he hits the door full speed.
Oh my God.
He's just like he's like boom, Like,
Did he compress like the Slinky dog from Toy Story?
No, he didn't.
Oh my god!
But like he's crying or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, "What the hell, Bowser? Get over here and lay down!" Like, and I had him up on the bed with me. Like, I was just like snuggling him at the time, trying to get him to calm down because I knew something was up. I couldn't figure it out. And I mean, at the time, like coyotes were in the yard because it's that time of year. We get coyotes all through the yard and everything. Yep. And there's a couple really loud owls, and they freak him out because he's never seen one. He just hears a whoo whoo. He thinks it's someone talking to him. Yeah, I'm laying there, and then like 20 minutes later, you hear like just right next to my face, meow 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 meow. Oh, the cat's in here, son of a bitch.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. As a kid, we had a black cat, and I remember like it really is strange if you own like an all black cat and you like have your door like closed or just like all the lights off, and then like especially if you have stuff on the floor, you'll just hear like quiet movement, and you'd be like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
And like, even if you have a cat, like your immediate instinct is like, "Oh, it's the cat," but then you hear another noise. It's like, "Well, what was that? Was that also the cat? Like, why are you here? What is happening?" Yeah. He was very, very strange, and like he was dead silent too. Like he'd never meow at all, even for food. So it was just like, he was just a little nightmare, just kind of walking in your room.
Oh, dude, like
tripping over little Lego blocks and stuff.
If you've got solid black cats, like you can't see them at night unless their eyes are open.
Yep,
like that's it. So it like there's been times where like we've had a couple black cats where I've like stepped on them and I feel bad because like they're hiding on the stairs, like damn it. But
yep,
nah.
Yeah, we're lucky. She's all white, so we can see her pretty well usually, but she's tiny. She's really small.
Yeah,
she can squeeze into just about anywhere. So
nice.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Zara.
It's like a pocket
Zara.
cat.
Yep.
So how long till Zara is like being walked down the side of the street on the leash?
That is a good question. You mentioned the coyotes earlier, and we were like, she was wanting to look out, our back door. We have the back door with a screen on it. And we figured she was definitely smelling some new stuff around here, obviously, because it's, halfway across the world. But she was definitely curious that night, and we still wonder what she'll be like when we take her. We're gonna take her outside on a leash. Yeah, definitely gonna do it. It's just definitely gonna happen. It's just when kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But so that's been awesome. Yeah. This week we actually have a guest here with us, our buddy Jeremy.
Yep.
So
J-Dog.
Yeah, this
Speak to the internet.
Yeah. Whichever. Yeah, watch it.
2 mics. Oh, dude.
2 mic. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Will this thing do like the Bart Simpson thing if we line them up where like it'll get like extra super loud?
No. It won't do that.
All right. I had to ask that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Jeremy, how was your week?
Pretty good actually. I got my SolidWorks certification now. So,
Woo, congratulations.
Yep, so I got a physical copy now, and I made a copy to give to my work, so now that's in my file.
Hey,
so hopefully, come review time, more money, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Other than that, just work, no more school, summer break. That's a bonus now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thinking I watched this pretty cool documentary on Netflix.
Which one?
It's the 3 Mile Island. Don't know if you guys saw that.
Cool.
I haven't seen that one. I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's wicked intriguing, and I actually really liked it.
That's actually next
awesome.
on my watch list because Matt and I, the other night we hung out and we literally watched from start to finish the HBO series Chernobyl.
Yep.
Oh boy.
And then we started talking about 3 Mile Island. And I was like,
That's on the list for me.
Yep.
yeah, highly recommended. And yeah, now I'm going to check out that one too.
The next thing I'm actually going to watch on HBO is Tokyo Vice. I hear that's really good.
So if you've got HBO, have you watched Class Action Park yet?
Not yet.
Nope.
You need to watch that one. That's so. If you guys don't know anything about it, there was like a really, really crooked theme park in New Jersey in like the 80s and like into the early 90s. And it was like everything done the wrong way, run by the mob, like everything. As dangerous as you think. Like kids were actually getting killed there.
Oh my God.
And they never shut it down because like all the lawyers and everything like that. But there's some absolutely crazy stories about that, and they made like a documentary movie about it. That's freaking amazing. And then there was what was it? Johnny Knoxville did a video like a year or two ago called like Action Point or whatever the hell.
Okay.
Something like that. That was literally like poking fun at Action Park in North Jersey.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so
is that what it's called, Action Park?
yeah, it was actually called Action Park.
I see.
And because like there were so many lawsuits and everything, that's why the documentary is called Class Action Park.
Dude, this is gonna sound like completely psychotic, but like every time I go to like one of those like kind of small name theme parks, like around here we got Canopy Lake, I always presume it's a mob front. Like I know it's not. Like I know it's like, oh yeah, they're just they like kind of have to cut corners because these rides are old and stuff, and they got to maintain them and like. But like, man, half the time I see it, it's like, yeah, that's like some guy with connections who's like, yeah, we signed off on it. It's good.
Yeah. Have you seen the owner?
Huh?
Have you seen the owner?
No.
Okay.
I know like nothing about like its ownership.
I mean, he's probably in his like 70s now or something, but he's always parked out front like every weekend. Like if they're open right now, I bet he's there.
Yeah.
He sits in his Rolls Royce Phantom at the front gates.
And
Wait a minute. He wears a pinstripe suit in the middle of summer, thick, big sunglasses, and just hangs his arm out the window and just watches the money walk in.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is like mob deal. See, like if you had ended that statement a little differently, where it's like, oh yeah, he rolls up in his Phantom with his pinstripe suit, and then he does like the around here in when we went to middle school, there was a principal called Mr. Daniels. His name was Jack Daniels.
Yep.
And he always wore these friggin' ridiculous suits. Like he would wear like a pale yellow blazer and plaid pants.
Oh yeah.
But like the dude was like just a walking ray of sunshine. So like even though it was middle school, which is basically like purgatory for teenagers, it was like he treated it like it was like the happiest place on earth. Like he was like Mr. Disney, and it's just like. If that dude like rolled up in his Phantom with his pinstripe suit and then was like, "Hey, how are you? Welcome to my park," I'd be like, "Okay, you know what? He's obviously wealthy, but he's doing something right." It's like that guy who used to own Fun Spot, where he was like, "Yeah, he had like some modest wealth, but he was there every day and he loved every game he had."
Of course.
But no, yeah, like I don't know why. Just amusement parks to me, it's just like, dude, that is like a mob front. There are probably people like buried in the cement, like they're just hidden in there, encased and entombed for like the rest of time.
Oh yeah. So like if you watch Class Action Park, like it talks about how like the first thing was like, all right, well we need a water slide with a loop. Well, all these like he goes up to all the teenagers who are working there and is like, all right, $100 if you make it out without bleeding. Right? like bad stuff because he was connected to the mob, like Uncle Gene or whatever the guy's name is.
Uncle Gene.
Yeah. And then, so like they couldn't figure out why kids were always getting stuck and everything, and it was because of the way it was built. It was built shoddily, it had bad angles and everything. And there's a reason why you don't do a loop in water slides.
Yeah.
Anyways, so kids kept on getting stuck to the point to where they're all right. Well, we got to put a hatch in the top. So they put a hatch in the top. They come to find out, like kids kept on getting stuck. Then at one point they started they opened up the hatch, and when they opened it up, there's fucking teeth embedded in the fiberglass.
Oh my god,
That's brutal.
Yeah. Okay, this is another like really messed up statement I'm about to make. But like as an adult, I hear that I'm like, dude, that's horrifying. But like if I was like a 15-year-old, I'd be like, let's do it. I want to get in line. Let's go for
high
it.
school.
Like, dude, like I would leave my teeth in that ride. That'd be like, dude, this is gonna be awesome.
You bring the
absolutely.
pliers. You bring the pliers. Thunk.
Yeah, like exactly.
Dude.
Like it's just so dumb how that works.
In high school, all 5 of us would have spent every freaking weekend there.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
every
for
weekend.
sure.
Period.
Yeah, we would have racked up battle scars. Like we wouldn't be the same.
Oh, dude, like there's so much crazy stuff there. I don't want to spoil it for you because it's crazy. It's
I do
crazy.
wanna watch
And like
that,
I said, like people died there. People
my
literally
God.
died there because of some of the shit going on. So like you guys gotta watch that. Like if you've got HBO, you need to watch
And again,
it. That is
like-
good.
And again, like messed up teenage brain would like again, adult brain in me is like, oh, people died there. That's horrible. But like teenage brain me would be like, dude, people died there. This place is extreme.
It's like the Beavis and Butthead mindset.
Yeah, dude, it literally is. Like, I don't know why everybody's brain, like, well, I don't know if everybody's brain works that way, but like, if you have like a room temperature IQ brain like me, like, that's awesome.
So like real talk, I was talking to one of my coworkers who grew up in North Jersey because that's where he's from, and like he was like 17 when it opened.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, yeah, dude, I spent all my time in it. Like, I can't tell. He's like, I got this scar, I got that scar. Like, yeah. Like,
see?
It's just like, yeah, dude, I can only imagine if we had access to that place. Like, I know all of us, like, at least one of the 5 of us would be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that.
And that never would have stopped us. We would have just been like, all right, you know what? We're doing this for that homie.
Yeah.
Still doing it. Like,
Yeah, we would go to the soda fountain and be like, pour one out for the homies.
Stupid.
Yeah. I don't know why. Teenagers are just brainlets, and I am one of them.
Let's be real, we all were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. We were all.
Yeah.
I mean, still, like, it's like, I know what you mean.
I mean, that was like the thing, too. Like, even at Canopy Lake, it was like nowadays as an adult, it's just like, rides are stupid, like, blah, 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 blah. But then it's like, as a kid, it was like, dude, Turkish twist. Let's eat as many french fries as we can and see who throws up first. Like, that was just what we did.
Yeah, like, it was like... It was legendary to us when we were kids, kind of a thing. Like, it was like...
The more dangerous something was, the more extreme it was when you survived it.
It was like ritual. Like, you go there and just make yourself sick, or like...
I'm pretty sure... no, never mind. I don't want to say that.
I mean, let's be real. Like, that shit continued on through our 20s and everything when we had all the quads and dirt bikes.
Yeah,
True,
no,
true.
You're not
We
wrong.
were all, like, stupid shit all the time.
Yeah. This is true.
Now it's just with cars. I guess we don't do that much stupid shit anymore. But
Yeah.
Cars have a lot of rules on them, so.
yeah.
We've kind of reined it in a bunch.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, if it wasn't so hard to play with like outdoor toys, so to say, I would totally have a side-by-side. And that would be nothing but chaos if I had a turbo side-by-side. It would have just been like, all right, just roll the clock back 10 years. It'd be like, we're just going to do this over, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Me with a turbo side-by-side. You know,
Yep.
I'd go get one, and it'd be rolled within the first week at least 3 times. Because we were doing donuts or some stupid shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, anything else, Jeremy?
No, that's pretty much...
Speak to the internet.
Any video games?
Video games.
Yeah. We
Anything new? Anything big?
We run the gambit of cars or video games.
Cars,
Yeah.
video games, tech, like, this is whatever we want to talk about, not like anything crazy. So,
Well, as I mentioned to you two, and I told him last night, I want to build a gaming PC. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
on.
boy.
So I brought the graphics card with me today just so I can get an idea from you guys.
yeah.
Yep.
And then video game wise, I've been playing Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the one I picked up when we were at PAX.
Oh yeah, that's right. You found that.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah.
I did the it's a gotcha game. But
Yeah.
luckily it's not like, oh, you go to a shop and you like the eShop on Nintendo.
Microtransactions.
Yeah,
no.
microtransactions, all that stuff. And then no, you can actually get the stuff in game, which is
Yeah.
great, which I like. And if you get like duplicate characters, it just goes into like you get this and like 50 of these credits gets you a golden ticket, 10 gets you a regular one.
Yeah.
And luckily you get regular tickets just by completing missions and all that. And my favorite thing that I got was Kid Buu, full power Demon Lord Deborah absorbed. And it's the most ridiculous looking. He has a sword.
Of course.
Kid Buu with a sword. I'm like, that's the last thing that he does.
Who gave this guy a sword?
And he is so broken. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I love it because I'm the Buu fan of Dragon Ball Z characters.
I was gonna say, for reference, he's like maybe one of the biggest
King of
Dragon Ball Z
Dragon Ball.
fans that I know. Yeah,
Dragon
Ball in general.
Like,
yeah.
let's be real here. If like we all have our own topics, like I want to say like the topic of Jeremy for Jeremy's specialty is wrestling and like Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Pretty much wrestling and Dragon Ball, you can drag me into conversation and be hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
There goes the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So real quick, just explain what it is. Only because I know like Matt and Eddie don't know about this Dragon Ball game. Just explain what it is.
So basically, it's a gacha game where you get characters and you build a team based on what you get. And, you get a starting set, which is just your base heroes. Like, you get Goku, Vegeta, I believe Gohan, Tien, Krillin. And you make, like, a team of 6 or 7 characters, I believe. But as you, like, get the tickets and all that, you can go and unlock more characters.
So is it like an RPG or is it like a?
I haven't deep dived so far into it. I believe you can actually, like, upgrade characters, like certain characters. But there is, like, a level system of, like, this character's a 5-star character. They're like top tier.
Right.
You have 4, 3, 2, and 1, and so on.
I know that's like a kind of a growing genre, like the whole gacha games. I haven't really I don't know much about them. I only know like the system in play because it sucks whenever you see it and it's like, oh yeah, the microtransaction based, like good. But I don't I know like that's like a huge thing now is like, oh yeah, it's like you build like a team or you collect these people but I don't really know what happens after that because I've never actually played one.
Pretty much the story is
it like a trading card kind of thing or
somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
But so basically from what I got is the story is you play as like a kid who's now introduced to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which is exclusively over in Japan. Like you could get actual physical cards that you use for an actual arcade game that's over there.
Oh yeah, like the data cards or whatever.
Yeah,
those are sweet.
And that's pretty sick.
Like for the record too, like Jeremy didn't really say this. Like the only physical version of the copy for the Switch is like Japan only. And he found it for like a pretty good price at PAX.
Oh, okay. So this isn't even like.
And then you know what happened? I found out that there's an actual day in Japan called Goku Day, which is May 9th, because Go is 5 and Ku is 9 apparently in Japan. So May 9th.
I see.
Nintendo had discounts on all their games, and they put on Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission onto the eShop. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But it's on the eShop now. I'm like, that's cool. Now people can actually play it, and I actually enjoy playing it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I had zero idea about it until you were like telling me about it.
I've seen only like small footage of it, and so when I saw it, I'm like, I need that.
Yeah.
For $25, I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, especially considering it's a Japan only game.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's really fun, and like I said, you play as a character, and you get like an avatar character, kind of like in a Xenoverse. I don't know if any of you guys played that.
I played Xenoverse. I had fun.
So like, you get like a Namekian that you can play, a Frieza race. I don't know what their class is.
Yeah.
Then you get like a Majin character, which is just Fat Boo.
Okay.
Which I have my own critiques about playing some Xenoverse, which I'll do another time. But then you get like a human character and a Saiyan character. Look, all I'm saying is, I want to play as a Super Boo in Xenoverse. I don't like having to decide between Fat Boo or a Girl Boo.
Yeah, no, it was pretty limited.
But you know what? I will say I will play the Girl Boo because it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, I played the first Xenoverse when that came out just because I was just having fun with friends and everything like that. And I just ran around with some friends in that game, just like making the most bullshit jokes and everything because I was the legendary Super Saiyan ice cream sandwich.
Nice.
It was that game was fun because like the amount of stupid crap you could do with it.
Yeah.
Like that was the real thing. Like obviously it was pretty limited in its own ways, like the character creator and everything like that. But some of the stuff you could do was just crazy, and that's what me and my friends at the time did. Like we just got like way into like how stupid can we get with this?
Nice.
Oh yeah, and then just like the costumes and all that you pick up, that's pretty funny to mix and match that. Which is it's funny talking about a Dragon Ball game, and it's like, yeah, let's do dress up.
Yeah, I mean like those characters have like one outfit outside of like Goku and Vegeta, like the main characters, and like Bulma.
Yeah.
After that, like every character is like, no, it's been the same outfit the whole time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I would like to play as like a Super Boo looking guy, not Fat Boo.
Yeah, no, it's
that's just been one of my main things. But no, the game Super Dragon Ball Heroes is fun, and it actually introduces a funny thing. They made like a Kamen Rider looking Saiyaman. He's called Saiyaman 3.
nice.
And he legit has a sword, and I'm like, that is bonkers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because he looks like a robot, but at the same time, he looks like a Kamen Rider kind of guy too.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
But no, that's pretty much been me. So
Nice. Now the mic goes over to Alex.
Ooh, what did I do? Nothing. That's it. Goodbye.
Oh, that's BS. Come on, man.
I'm kidding. Let's see if this thing will cooperate.
Just tighten it
Okay,
up
yeah.
on the other side. Tighten them all up. Yeah, no.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there. Oh, look.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect for that mouth access.
Shoot, I forgot.
That mouth what?
That mouth access.
That mouth access.
Oh.
Oh. So I got some fancy lighting for my car. Just like some LED footwell stuff and some upgrades for like, the vanity lights and overhead lighting. So I put that in last weekend. And the no swear jar was full because, anybody that pulls dashers apart and has to run wires through them. It's not great.
Dude.
And Jeremy here was my emotional support human.
Yeah.
He just kind of stood there and went, "Oh, yeah," and I was just like, beep 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 beep
As
beep
any
beep.
emotional support man will do.
Yep.
Yeah, as many of them do,
You just stand there in almost silence, just, yep.
Yeah, and every now and then it's well, what if you pull on it like that? And then it's just
Yeah,
like, oh, thanks, man.
There is something therapeutic, like whenever you're working on something that's just like, a bitch of a project, and like. So, like, when something bad happens, you have someone to explain it to. Because sometimes when you talk your way through it, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, if you're just trying to do it yourself, you're just like, son of a...
Yeah.
Like, you just don't stop, and you just get more and more angry.
Yeah, and then you end up breaking something in half, and
Yeah,
you don't care anymore until the next day, and you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta replace that.
Yeah.
That's why half the stuff I take apart when it's put back together, it's like kind of loose and floppy and like, clips are broken and stuff because it's like, oh, by the time I'm done, I'm just like, oh, just get in there.
yeah. So the funny thing about that, when I ordered this like kit of lights and stuff, it was one of those, you're on the website and it's like, well, you think you might want these items? And one of them was the like trim removal tool set for like $15, and I'm like, yeah, click. And I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I'm not sure I would have any skin left from like the last knuckle off from just like digging into stuff and pulling it off.
Yep.
And like you said, the clips, they'd be gone.
Oh, yeah. No,
gone.
those are miserable.
I'd be driving down the road and it was just like everything rattling because it doesn't go.
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
should go. So yeah, that was fun. It was like a day and a half project.
I
Dang.
think the most difficult part was the port, that 12-volt port that we were trying to rip out.
Oh
Yeah.
So the 12-volt socket. It turns out they're extremely easy to take out, at least on a, if you have a 21 Subaru WRX, that little socket's real easy. But I didn't take the time to like really inspect. You can't really get into where that little like kind of
Tray.
Tray.
It's like a pocket tray.
yeah.
right there,
So
and
it's
then
like in
cubbies
front of the
or something.
shifter. Then you have like that little rubber mat, but it's like you could put like up to here on like my hand in there. So you can't really get down and look into it.
Yeah.
So once I actually got that whole piece of the dash off, I brought it inside, and me and Jeremy here are looking at it. We're looking at it. And then I don't know if it was me or him that discovered it, but at some point we're both kind of like moving it around. We're pushing on it. And, my hands are tired. Then he, gets his big old mitts on it and tries to just shove it out, because I was pretty certain that I just had to push it out of the plastic.
Yeah.
Because, I watched YouTube and that's what the guy said. But it was also not the same car. So they're probably not using the same branded whatever.
Right.
But it turns out there's two little fins. Now, if this was in the car, you would, have the open socket, no plug in it or anything, and you just like push a little metal fin or whatever. It's kind of one of those
Like
things
a tab, kind of?
It's a little tab, so it just wants to like sit like this. You push it open and then
Right.
and you just turn it a little bit. You pull it and then kind of turn it and pull it out, and that's it. And the whole thing just comes right out.
Oh.
So that ended up being a lot easier. And I'm glad we didn't keep pushing on it when we discovered. He said, I mean, we were probably in there 30, 40 minutes until it was just one of those like, well, this moves.
Yeah.
And like your like Lego brain starts going, the room temperature IQ you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
It starts to like, oh.
Yeah.
And you get the like, turn.
Yeah, dude, that's the worst. Anything that like twists, you immediately think like, oh, it must just unscrew. So I will just sit there twisting it for like 10 minutes before I realize this doesn't unscrew. But because it spins, I presume that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, like
It's never right.
like a gas cap.
Yeah.
How like you turn it off and it goes ka-tunk, and you just pull it out.
Yeah.
That's exactly how this is set up, but like in two stages.
I
So it has that, but since it's not like, there's no springs, nothing like that. It just slides on it. It has a really smooth, just like click, and it stops. And you can tell you can just slide it along and just do that. But luckily the switch I put in actually fits in like the bezel that holds the actual metal outlet.
Oh, nice.
So I put that in there and I went, well, it fits pretty good. And I just hot glued from the back. So now if you look at the car, you guys can check it out later. It's like a perfectly nice looking, it looks like it's an OEM switch, except instead of a socket, it's the button.
Nice.
So it works pretty good.
Nice.
But that's all Bluetooth controlled and stuff too. I can have like it strobe to the music and all that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a super lame but super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing that I can tell you guys too, especially working on like medical equipment professionally and like a lot of crazy high-end X-ray stuff too. Like, remember, if there's a seam, it will come apart, and you should never have to use brute force to get something apart unless it's like rusted or something like that. Like,
No.
that's the one thing. And like every single time, like the monkey brain just kind of gets in there and like, no, smash.
Yeah, dude, Hulk smash.
Dude, just like take a step back, maybe go through a manual. Like, you never have to force something like you think you do, and that's the hardest thing to do. And like, it took me years to get over.
Unless it's a square body.
But yeah, anyways.
Me and him were like the equivalent of Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller in Zoolander when he beat to this one part. That's what it pretty much was.
Oh my god, I can imagine that.
So I haven't watched that in so long. Was that where they're like competing and they're both bad at it? It was something like that. I can't remember the scene you're talking about.
No, it's the scene where they're like trying to work the computer.
Yeah.
So they start going ooh ooh as they're beating the computer with like a stick, and it's just like that was us working on that one thing.
I will say, I think the one exception to that rule is anytime. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't have a newer computer case, so I can't speak. But like anytime on an older computer case, the front panel. That is always like grab by the bottom and monkey brain. Just go, like it doesn't matter. It feels wrong, but 9 times out of 10, you just pull really, really hard.
So yeah, I mean that's different. That's not what I meant by like.
I know.
Like prying it off. Like let's say it just snaps in like dash pieces I was getting off. Most of them have a clip or like that kind of like ball end like stud that fits in the little metal clasp.
Yep.
So it just kind of like you got to pull it pretty hard, but it just goes. Dunk. But
what I think always scares me is that like anytime it's like something plastic and like when you're pulling on it and you're starting to get like that, okay,
it's bending
this
a little.
is how it should go, but yeah, it's starting to flex and bend, and I feel like it's gonna snap. It's gonna snap. What's gonna happen first? That is always like I think that's what gets the caveman brain going, because it's like do or die, bam.
I mean like
you have to fight that instinct though.
Yeah. So I've got 2 computers right here with NZXT cases, an H710 and an H510 Flow, the Airflow one. And like both of those, like, yeah, you do kind of have to pry on them pretty hard, like the first few times you take them apart. It's just because it's all plastic and it hasn't like worn in yet.
Right.
But like if you take the front panel off this white one here that you might be able to see in the background, I don't know if you can or not on camera. Like the first few times that was like, I'm gonna bend this in half.
Yeah.
But then now, like, I can just walk up and just like pop it.
Oh yeah, mine's the same way. I've had the same case since like 2011. So at this point, it's like those clips hardly have any give to them. Like it's literally like a little bit of force, and then the whole thing comes off, and it's like, yeah, that's perfect. But yeah, when it's brand new, you really do have to kind of like fight the fear.
Yeah. What's another good one, a good feeling I should say, is when you have the brand new plastic something, and you can pry it off enough to you're like, oh, I'm gonna bend this, or I'm gonna break off the peg or something.
Yeah.
But you can get your hand in it enough and find the next clip. And have the perfect force, and it just goes clunk.
That is like a really rewarding thing. Anytime it's like, oh yeah, you've got just enough force, and then you're like, and then it just comes loose, and it's like, oh, perfect.
Because you have to always start on one side and pry it a little bit, and then just kind of.
Yeah, there is some like sick fascination going on in the lizard brain when that kind of stuff happens. I don't know what it is. It's really difficult to explain unless you've experienced it before.
No, it is. 100%.
I can't even imagine doing dash work in a modern car. That just sounds excruciating.
It's not great. Well, you know what? It wasn't too bad once I figured out some stuff. Putting it back together was a little bit worse because I had, like this. I had like 2 of this length wire to connect my backlights, because what I did is I put like the footwell ones in the front, and those are kind of easy. I could go up onto the dash and stick them somewhere.
Right.
But under the seats for the rear of the car, everything is carpet or cloth.
Right.
So I know that 3M double-sided like sticky stuff that's on the back of them. Mm-hmm. It'll stick to it, but for how long? This summer?
Yeah.
And
Eventually it will give way.
Not even with how hot it got all of a sudden. It
Exactly.
be
Also
off.
true. Yeah.
But
and your car's like all black, so that thing really heats up.
Yeah, it was a little toasty today. Every time I got in it today, I just turned it on and walked away for like 10 minutes with the AC blasting. Like, I don't care.
Yep.
That's fair. Yeah. So, anyways, I have like 2 extension wires like this. I really needed like this much, but I mean, I can't like cut the wires and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because of those fancy like M8 connectors or whatever. You're probably familiar. with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're pretty good because they're meant for any weather, putting them under the car or wherever you want. And I gotta say, they're pretty quality. But man, a couple times I had to put them together and test them. And putting them on is like a task. Taking them off was like, I think I have to break them. Because you're pulling on both sides of the wire, just like, and then it just goes. And you get it. But yeah, stuffing all the wires back together was kind of a nightmare. It was one of those ones where you're like, clunk. That's fine. But it's good. Hopefully they stay.
That is like the inverse feeling. Like, you know how we were just talking about the satisfying thing of finding the clip. The unsatisfying thing is when you push really, really hard, and then rather than getting like a satisfying click or a crunch or a snap, you just get like it just slides together, and you're like, that doesn't feel right.
You have to
like,
take it back off.
There's no tactile sensation there, therefore it's wrong.
You know what's worse?
Wrong. I just said it must be wrong.
Oh yeah, no. What's worse is when it goes back together and it does clip, but doesn't make a click because it's like semi-soft plastic. So you're like, all right, something's not right, and then you go to take it and it's like clipped in. You're like, son of a, trying to get it off again. Now you're like, now it's like, I just cross-threaded the screws. Like, oh no, now I got to fix it. And it was fine the whole time.
Or those wonderful plastic products where they have like the inside panel to this cover just has the self-tap screws into this really chintzy little just like arch that it goes into, and you go to like. You're like, I'm just going to take it off, and then it just like shears that clip part right off, and the screw is still in the panel, and you're like, oh, well, I guess like some tape.
Oh, dude, I've worked on some patient monitoring equipment like GE, like the after the dashes when they went to the B450s, if I remember correctly, the model.
It's okay. Nobody knows.
Yeah, no. There might be one person out there from like work that listens to it or whatever. I just remember those. Those were like a nightmare of like screws. Like they had this really weird pattern as to how you had to like pull these screws out. But then like even after you get all the screws out, like there was just a ring of clips around the side, and like you'd be trying to pull it apart, and like the plastic's doing like a 45-degree bend. And you're like, oh man, this is gonna break. Nope, just the way it's made. Yeah, just the way it's made.
It's like the bottom plate of any like laptop case. You have to do that. Like, you got all the screws, and then you have to spudge, and you spudge very carefully, and you watch it flex, and you're like, don't snap, you piece of.
Yeah. Oh, I got a good story about caveman brain, like max. so like thinking you're about to go caveman brain, you're like, oh, probably I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you just go.
So my old phone.
Oh no!
You can probably see where this is going.
Yeah.
Now, new phones, or actually iPhone's been doing it for a while, but the ones that have like basically a glass back to it.
Yep.
So I was like, my old, I think it's like Pixel 3 or whatever. I got a new phone now, but I had the case off of it. I'm like, kind of a glossy back, pretty thin, whatever. Like I can be careful with this. And I watched a video of it. I was like, all right, let me see how it comes apart and see what it, what I need. So I ordered like a kit of like a battery. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to replace the battery.
Yep.
And they gave you some other stuff, some little tools and all that. And it specifically says, use a heat gun on the back of it. And then it'll just kind of come right off with a little bit of prying. I said, I don't need a heat gun. I'll just be really careful. That was where I should have said, nope. I guess I'll go across town and grab the heat gun, even though there probably was one in the house. But
nope.
I was just like, nah, I can do it. It was actually going really well. I used like a razor blade, and I could feel the kind of, I don't want to call it Teflon, but whatever they seal it with, that kind of rubbery silicone.
Yeah.
And, kind of working on an edge. I'm like, this is going pretty good. And I was like working at it. And then, of course, I was getting impatient after like working at it for half an hour. It was probably 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But
again, the lizard brain starts to kick in, and you're like, open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got something else, a tool that I'm going to deem inappropriate to be prying with, like a screwdriver or something.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, it wasn't like a stubby. It was one that was probably this big, and I'm just like. And at that
screwdrivers, butter knives, all the things that you really shouldn't be prying at stuff with.
Soft plastic spudgers.
No.
By the way, I've never heard of spudging before.
Oh, really?
5 minutes ago.
Oh, you didn't know that's what those were called?
Yeah, that's a
No, I
spudger.
didn't. So now I guess earlier those trim removal tools, I'm now going to call them spudgers.
Yeah, they're literally called spudgers.
Yeah. Sometimes they're shaped like little guitar picks. Sometimes they're like these little.
Okay, I've got ones that are like
sticks.
little crowbars.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff,
They kind of look like little crowbars, and they're made of like a soft plastic, so that way they don't.
I've got one that looks like the Lego removal tool that I use at work.
Yeah, yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
What
bought
an
like some
indispensable
Walmart.
tool, Lego.
Yeah,
thing.
Dude, that thing was a lifesaver for this kid. Oh my
that
god,
tangented so hard.
And they're
it really did. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just like.
yeah, it's fine. That's what this is all about, right? Just
Yeah,
shooting
yeah.
the breeze about nothing we know about.
Yeah, yeah,
Misguided millennials.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
should be the subtitle. Back of the Burb, misguided millennials.
Well, no, like it's like right on
Too
there.
bad, is
It's like a podcast by a bunch of misinformed millennials.
Oh yeah, there you go.
in southern New Hampshire. Yeah,
Perfect.
that's what it is. So
Yeah. Now I don't really know what I was. Oh, the phone.
Yeah,
So
the phone.
yeah, I got the we'll call it inappropriate tool, and I kind of stuffed it in the corner. I could see the inner electronics a little bit, just that little 2 millimeter gap,
Taunting you.
and it was like, take me apart. And I was like, okay, let's do this. So I like pried a little bit, and I'm talking like a little bit, and it just like shattered the corner of it, and I went, really? And of course, the way that glass is, it was now powder. It was like that powder, like fiberglass, and I was like, well, that's just in my hands now. So I went and grabbed some gloves. It's on the desk, kind of like swept that off. And at that point, once I had the PPE on, and I knew it was broken, I just took that screwdriver and rifled it right into the middle through the gap as hard as I could, and just blew the thing off. And I just started ripping pieces of it off. I'm like, well, it's fucked now.
Yeah. In for a penny, in for a pound, right? Like it's already broken. So what the hell?
So basically, I looked at that, and I finally like looked at the inner workings of the phone and went, nah, I'm not putting the battery in. Like, I wasted the $20 on it or whatever. And I was just looking at it, I was like, I just don't feel like taking this crap apart now. I fully am capable of doing it, but I was just like,
That hurts to hear.
Which, like,
yeah, I gave up hard on that one. But I thought it was going to be like, the phone I had before. You take the back cover off, the plastic one that just comes off, and it's like, oh, battery pops out. This one was like, go ahead and take off whatever piece of the computer workings that is, that thing, disconnect that thing. The fingerprint reader thing that was stuck on the case is now whatever. I'm just like, nope. So I took my phone case and just put it back on with no back, and I went, I'll just go buy a new phone in a couple weeks.
yeah, I mean, like, real talk. If you would have used the heat gun and like a proper spudger, you wouldn't have even been like 30 seconds.
I would have still been using that phone, which is now just like in a desk somewhere. Because I went to the I almost called it the phone dealer. I'm going to call it that.
Phone dealer.
I went to the phone
like
dealer,
that.
and I just said, hey, you going to take this? And they said, oh, absolutely not. I'm like, great. Okay, so do you have this phone? Oh, nope, we don't. Oh, there's one in Salem. I'm like, hold it for me. See ya.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there goes my like $300 off or whatever they wanted to give me.
Yeah.
But, oh, well.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm getting a new
what
phone
it is.
tomorrow. I still have not got it yet, but tomorrow.
What are you getting?
An S22 Plus.
Have fun.
Yeah, he's getting a Samsung
Have fun.
big boy phone.
Yeah, it's massive. Not
Yeah.
as big as the Ultra. The Ultra is the huge one. I think that one's like almost too big.
You hold it like this to like answer a phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Hey,
little
I
birds.
had one. I had a giant phone way back when. I loved it.
Yo, they were cool.
It was my
They were
favorite
cool.
one. Dude, if they just updated the internals on that and made it forever, I'd be like, I'd still be buying it.
Yeah.
No joke. I don't know. Sometimes you
Yeah.
get that one design and you're like, man, just keep making this.
yeah.
But they insist on innovation. I don't want to. That's a stupid topic. I hate that.
A forbidden
that's dumb.
tangent.
Yeah. That's a tangent that really is just like stupid nerd butthurt.
Yeah?
It's not worth it.
So, you good? You got anything else?
I think we could go on a quick rant about a movie I rewatched as an adult,
Yeah.
and that would be the Aragon movie.
Oh boy.
Has anybody seen that? I know at least these two have.
The Blue Dragon, Saphira.
Okay,
Aragon,
yeah,
that
yeah.
Aragon.
Yeah,
not Lord of the
vaguely-
Rings.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
No, it is not Lord of the Rings.
No.
yeah.
But it did come out like around that kind of time, wasn't it? Like a couple years
Maybe.
after.
Fantasy was like hot at that time.
Yeah. It
This was
was like
like
that big-
Halfway through high school,
right before
like
Game of Thrones.
2007
hit.
or so.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I watched that, and it got to the point where I was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is bringing me back." Like, I know it's a terrible movie, and it was like really terrible. Now that I could like really focus on what was going on.
Yeah.
Because like after you read the first like book or something, it's like, oh, it's kind of a cool movie, yeah, whatever. And then you're like, oh god, it's actually trash.
Yeah.
But it's like hot trash, and like the acting's not. It's not terrible, but like it's not great. Some of the characters are hit or miss, but and like I think I got to the point where I just like got the meat and potatoes and skipped that actually, and just went right to the end, which actually has just like cool CGI battles of like you know Shadow Bat Dragon with the Necromancer guy and you know Saphira and whatever, and they're having. I'm like, okay, yep, let me. Yep, oh, he killed him, and don't need to see the credits. Turn it off and go to bed. Yeah,
All right.
but yeah. I was hoping more of you guys watch that because it's just so bad.
I haven't, but on a related tangent, it is kind of weird how like even though like some movies we know are bad, we kind of like latch onto them and we're like,
Yeah.
I'd watch it again. Like it's I know it's like this is a tough one for me because I don't think it's that bad, but like Independence Day to me is like I like that movie.
I'd
I
like
don't
to
know.
rewatch that again.
Like
A good
it's
one.
That's a good
trashy,
movie.
but I like to watch it.
It's trash, but everyone likes it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because-
Like it's like the perfect just popcorn movie. Like,
It had
it's
some good
completely
scenes. I mean,
meaningless.
come on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Up, yo!
Exactly.
Exactly.
For me, it would be Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Mortal
dude,
Kombat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The bad
Annihilation.
CGI right at the end with the
yeah,
dragon.
yeah.
It's like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
that-
But
That's my
it's cool
animality.
because it's Mortal Kombat. Nobody cared because it's Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
yeah.
But that's one thing I remember from Annihilation is, like, as a kid, I'm like, that dragon's cool. As an adult, man, we've come far.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at it this way. I mean, you could just do the whole, the good old. Chun-Li, the day that I raided your village must have been the worst day of your life. But for me,
it was a Tuesday.
it was just another Tuesday.
Even though that's a bad movie, that's one of the best lines ever.
Yeah. And I
love
mean,
it.
you have to wait for the very end for Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's like French as fuck in that movie.
Yeah, who's
playing
playing
Guile, who's
Guile.
supposed to be like America,
The
America,
most red-blooded American. Yeah.
like
Like
this
he has the
character-
American flag tattooed on his arm. He's that patriotic.
Yeah. And then like you have to wait all the way to the end to get the flash kick. And like
Yeah.
you look back at it, it's like, wow, they didn't even try.
No, they really
they didn't even try for that flash kick.
No. But yeah, no, I don't know what it is. It's just like it is weird to think about though. Like when you see like a movie that gets like a 20% review or something, and it's like no matter how bad the movie is, like what is that? The Last Airbender movie, the M Night Shyamalan Ding
Avatar:
Dong.
The Last
Like
Airbender?
as bad as it is, there is still one person out there where it's like that's their favorite movie, and it's so bizarre to think about because you watch it, and you're just like this sucks. Yeah, but like
was
they're like,
god-awful.
oh, this acting was actually really good. Like they find one decent quality and they like cling to it.
But there's a
And
certain
we
point.
all do it. We just sometimes we're not aware of it.
Yeah, there's a certain point where everybody likes garbage.
Yeah,
Like it's garbage for a reason, but like whether you can laugh at it, whether it's something you grew up and you watched it a whole bunch or whatever it is, it's garbage.
yeah.
Yep.
What was that word one more time? Because I'm going to tell you something that I've done that's probably.
Garbage.
Garbage.
So I have like 500 hours on Fallout 76.
There you go.
And we talked about that one before the podcast too, being like, oh, well, you know what the problem with 76 is? 76.
Yeah. I can't say I'm a fan, but you know what? I no hate to anybody who enjoys it. It's just not.
You know what though? When you played so much and you have some ridiculous end game build that they just don't like debuff because they're lazy.
Yeah.
And I just like walk in. I'm at like 2% HP, but it's like this. They call it the bloodied build. I'm running around in power armor. I'm just like completely indestructible with a minigun, and it's just like all the bosses are dead. Just all of them.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're in another time zone. They're just dead.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real here. 76, like, I think the biggest reason why it failed was there was like zero fucking NPCs or anything going on. And you're like, as soon as this game starts, you're on a fetch quest to like go whatever, and you're chasing all this shit around. Every time you get there, it's like everyone's just dead. Like everything's dead. All the NPCs are dead. There's no one to interact with, and it's just you and like the other people coming out of the vault running around. So it's like, it feels so directionless half the time. You're like, all right, this is stupid. And then like the way the balance worked is like, yeah. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy 11 effect where like sometimes you'll just come across one enemy where like the AI is fucked up or something and it will just wreck you. Because even though you're hunting level 5 rabbits because you're level 7, well, this one rabbit for whatever reason is like coded as like a level 30. You know, like like Fallout had that problem really bad, so you'd be like level 5 running around, you'd be like, oh look, a level 3 monster, and then next thing you know, it's like actually like a level 14, and then you're running around later, and like that, you're like this level, you're just stomping out level 14 monsters like they're level 1,
Right.
so because I put probably about 30-40 hours into it. I was hoping that was gonna go good, but like I knew it was gonna be trash at a certain point, but it was like, all right, well, in for an inch, in for a pound. I'm recording and streaming this. Let's see how crazy you can get. And like, yeah, some crazy shit happened. So yeah, like I got my money's worth out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't played it in a while, but like the update where they put all the NPCs in it, it's actually like it's what it should have been when it came out.
Yeah.
So like if you played it now and never played it before, you'd probably be like, this is not bad. This is kind of a cool like Fallout. I'll call it MMO. But, there's only probably 30, 40 people in a lobby or whatever. But it's not too bad. Like, I'm going to say nowadays, probably still a bunch of bug crap and everything. But it's, kind of what you expect. But not too bad.
Typical Bethesda bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, love them or hate them.
Which I don't want to get into this quite right now because we still got to finish up our weeks. Like,
I know we're
an hour in.
But like, real talk, Starfield delayed till next year. And then the other, was it Red something, like the vampire hunting one? That was all Microsoft had for the holidays, and both of them got delayed until next year. So Microsoft has no holiday lineup for like first party. So, but yeah, that was something that happened this week. Anyways, are you good on your week?
I'm good.
Okay. So I'll kind of speed run mine. Like I'd like to go into mine, but like mine, like we'll talk like multiple episodes about some of the shit I have to say. So maybe we'll do that later or another time.
So busy.
Well, yeah, it started, so we took the week break primarily because like I was sick. And then like my parents took off for a week. They went to Phoenix, a little vacation because Dad had to work out there. So my mom just went. So I've been busy. I took that week. I did that. I did absolutely everything to clean my car and ceramic coat it. And I put two coats of ceramic on it. Oh my God, it's so nice to clean now. But like I started Sunday after we had recorded. I spent all day Sunday on it. And then Monday, like I was sick to the point where I was like, all right, I'm not going to work. I spent all day Monday on it. And then I spent basically all of my evenings from like the time I got home, like I take the dogs out and then like I'd go chill in the garage with the dogs while I was working on the car. And it was like that until like almost 10 o'clock every single night.
Jeez.
So from like 5 to 10 every night after spending like 2.5 days on it solid. And the only time that stopped was when you guys came over Thursday night and we did dinner. And then like as soon as like we finished dinner, I was right back out there finishing up.
You were like finishing up anyways, but
yeah. And then like I watched them today, like freaking that was it was so nice watching it though. Because like I didn't even have to bring the soap or anything.
Slides off.
Yeah, like I could have just hit the water and like pulled out the blower and the towel and like it would have been spotless. It's so nice doing it. And like, of course, like after my coworkers heard that, they're like, "Oh, yo, you do that? You do that? Can you do mine?" And it's like, I can't do it for under $1,000. Like, it's one of those. It's like I wouldn't mind doing it, but like I'm not going to do paint correction. I don't really like doing paint correction because I'm not good at it. So I definitely don't want to do it on someone else's car.
What does that exactly involve? Because I have no idea.
Paint correction is like getting out all the scratches, like the micro scratches and chips and shit like that. Sometimes,
so it's not
like actually chipped in the paint. What?
I actually got some of mine out today.
Yeah,
I didn't get too fancy, but I just glazed it and waxed it.
Yeah. But like to actually go through and do that, like you got to buff and everything. And like I can do it. I don't like doing it because I'm just not that good at it. Like I haven't done it enough because, as you guys know, I'm like that asshole who's like, oh, newer car. 6 months later, newer car. So like, I don't really have a lot of vehicles where I get a lot of experience doing that. I mean, if it's something I did all the time, I'd do it more. But like, yeah, it's one of those where it's like, no, look, guys. I'd love to do it for you guys, but like I'm like 40 hours in and it was $300 in product. And it's like I make X money at work. Like, that's what my time is worth. Only it's worth more because like this is what free time I do have at home. Like, so it's like I don't want to be mean to you guys or anything like that. Like I'd love to do it, but like I can't be realistic.
It's one of those
ones
where you're like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But in your back of your mind, you're like, I don't want to do it. So here's the huge fee I'm going to give you.
Well, no, it's
like,
not that. It's
like you want to pay me that $1,000? Sure, bring it the fuck over. Like,
that's what I.
Yeah, like I won't lie. Like I enjoy doing that. Like I enjoy washing the cars and keeping them clean. Like it's just something I enjoy doing. But like doing that and just like everything, it's just like I don't want to do it for other people just because of the amount of money it costs.
Yeah.
Because like, I bought professional grade product and everything, and like it shows. Like it's real nice. So I did that. Like that took so much time, but that was real fun to do. Enjoyed that, and then along the way, because I needed something to do in the back or something to listen to in the background or like everything else or between work and everything, and I watched all of Evangelion, all the movies, the show, like the end of Eva, everything. I watched all of it.
Even the new ones?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Everything. And like, I had like the same thoughts that some of the other people had too, going back. It was like, I never really understood why the last movie, like of the remakes, the one that came out last year, like the actual end was like, why is it the other ones are like, you cannot advance and you are not alone and everything like that. And then like you get to the final one, it's like Thrice Upon a Time. And you're just sitting there going like, why is it? Why did they name it? Oh, wait. This is the third telling of the ending and it's a third time. So Thrice Upon a Time. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there, wow. Wow. And then like I went on after that, and of course like I just kind of went straight down the rabbit hole, and as soon as that was done I was like, all right, well, I gotta watch, like, I don't want to say it's like the exact like opposite, like almost like the mirrored effect of it, but it's like, all right, I gotta watch Gurren now.
Oh yeah, totally. That is very
Gurren Lagann like hits all of like the same major points for the most part. It just hits it at a different point of view in a different style.
Yeah.
And not to mention like it's like a majority of the same people from the same studio.
Really?
Yeah, because they're both Gainax.
Oh.
Because so Gainax did Eva, and then what you really think is, so what you're thinking of is like, oh, so that art style, because Gurren has that art style, that Trigger art style. So the thing is, and like I was looking into this, I was like, why do I always get like Trigger and Gainax and a couple of these others really confused? It's like, no, because that art style came after Neon Genesis. Like Neon Genesis kind of started with like the realism stuff, but then you got into like the crazier art style, like the really scratchy stuff at times, or like the really gritty stuff that they do. Well, that came about with FLCL. Fooly Cooley. And like I love Fooly Cooley.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone does. And like I still have the entire album from the Pillows for like the first one like memorized.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I still don't really know what it's about, but man, like watching it, listening to the soundtrack, it's awesome.
It's such a good time. Like for like 2 hours, it's such a good time.
Yep.
It's a shame the new one like just kind of fell flat on its face.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah. What was it like? Was it like 2015, Jeremy? Do you know? I know we talked about this a while ago, but
I think it was 2017 or 2018.
was it
actually?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Like it was a couple years ago. It wasn't forever ago, but it was a couple years ago.
It wasn't the best,
Yeah.
honestly, and it tried, but it's just one of those things where it's like it didn't hit like original Fooly Cooley notes.
Yeah, and like, did they have the Pillows come back for that one? I don't remember. I thought they
I
did.
don't remember. I think they.
I thought they did, but like, it didn't hit the way the original one did, which is crazy because the original one just hit all the right notes in the right ways. Between the music and the show and the animation and the manga, if you read it all and how it all like ties together, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it was like charming, quirky before that kind of became like a little more normal.
Yeah,
like it's a very bizarre experience, and yet it's fun.
But you can see in the action sequences in it where that art style started to come from. That
actually that makes a lot of sense.
Gurren, because Gurren was like 2007-ish. Like we were in like ending high school when Gurren came out.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out in Japan, it was like when we were ending high school, and then it actually like hit the States like while I was in college.
Yeah.
Like that time. So like 2010, 2011 was when it hit the States. But yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, for like being like pretty much the same story, 1000%, I would rather watch Gurren every single day of the week. Like I love Evangelion. Evangelion's still in the top 10 for me because like it's something like I've grown up with, and like let's be real, dude. Like it took like 25 years to finish that story, like the way he wanted it to be finished and everything like that. So like we all kind of grew with it. Like
I do love the ending to Thrice Upon a Time because that gave Shinji character development and growth, and he wasn't doubting himself anymore. He's like, I know who I am now, and it's like I love that part.
Well, the part about that is it hit the same notes in the same way. And I don't want to get too spoilery into it, so I'll just hit this real quick without getting like crazy spoilery. is like it got a chance to actually sit there and explain itself better than what the original version of the ending was in the show. But part of the reason why the show ended so bad was because they're like, in the last few episodes, they're literally talking about like the mass production Ava fight and everything like that in like the preview for the next episode. And then it just kind of cuts to like all that crazy stuff for like the Human Instrumentation Project. It just kind of cuts that, and you don't see the mass production Ava. So you don't actually see it like until you actually watch the end of Evangalion movie, which came out in 97, like 2 years after. And then like you get what was developed more for End of Evangelion in 97, but then that one kind of ends weird because he's like, no, I want to do this and I want to do that, but then like it still ends with like the world's all kind of fucked up and destroyed, and then it ends with him choking Asuka on the beach, but then he gives up choking her and she's just like, disgusting, and then it cuts to black, which is so weird. And it's like, so you still get hit with that like Ava style whiplash.
Yeah.
And then in 3, like it actually ends the way he was kind of trying to do it. Like it almost feels like 3 was like, no, he got to like actually explain it the way he wanted to explain it. But yeah, I don't want to say anything more than that because I know Alex wanted to watch it, and I don't know if you guys are gonna watch it, but that's a whole nother thing.
Oh, I thought you were watching it. What? I thought you were watching it.
Yeah. I will say this though. One thing that is super disappointing is that in the Netflix release, they did redo the dub. Like there's some weird stuff in it. Like rather than calling all the different kids like, oh, the first child and the second child and everything like that, they'll be like referring to Shinji as like the third child or the third children or whatever the hell it was. Mm-hmm. He's the third children. And I'm like, something like, why is he the third? What? Children, the children. It's like, no, you're talking about one kid. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was kind of the weird thing.
Yeah, and instead of it being called Nerve, like for whatever reason in Netflix's dub, they called it Nerve. You're like, what? Where did you get N-I-E-R, like as in the game, and then put a V on the end? Like, this isn't near.
Yeah,
like, this isn't near. There's no 2B. There's none of that. Like, get out of here.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Netflix scripting kind of dropped hard with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. Like, I've watched the original series so many times. Like, yeah. But like the thing that killed me the most though was that like it didn't have "Fly Me to the Moon" as the ending.
Yeah.
Which
classic.
Like not even that it's classic, it's that Evangelion ends on like some of these like really poignant moments like per episode. Like there's some episodes where like it's pretty shitty. Like it's a pretty shitty ending of the episode. But like as soon as it ends, it hits you with like this like smooth jazz songs like "Fly Me to the Moon." Mm-hmm. So like you just get whiplashed like super hard. You're like, what the hell? And you're literally sitting there going, what the hell just happened? And like in this one, if you've never seen it before, it just kind of goes in like this really sad, somber piano track, which is actually similar to the piano track that they play in the third movie when Coward teaches him how to play the piano. I did notice that. I did notice that. Right?
I didn't notice that. Now I'm going to have to go
back to back. Like I watched it back to back. Like I watched the movies first and then I watched Ava. Yeah. So like, I don't know. It just didn't hit. It didn't hit the same. But yeah, so there's that. I'd love to talk more about that, especially almost do like a spoiler cast or whatever. I don't know if you guys watch it or care. Because I have a lot of thoughts about that. And then obviously Gurren. I love Gurren. I think it's better. It's a better show. And then going back to the whole Gainax and then in the Trigger and everything. Yeah, it's the same team, like the same director and everything that did Gurren at the time, who was like one of the storyboarders and artists for Ava. So like that kind of hit on. And then that team is the one that broke off to make Trigger. So that's where like that art style, that's why that art style goes back from Gainax and like FLCL. And now we see what it became in like Fooly Cooly and BNA and Quadruple S Gridman and all those.
All right.
So yeah, so I went down the hole pretty hard at anime. Because, like, I got to do something in the background.
Anime.
Yeah. And then like 0 games were played. I still got to work on getting everything set up for recording so we can actually record some gameplay because we
were chipping away at that, but then he got sick, and then I don't know if I picked it up from him or if I just got an unrelated illness, but then I got sick, and then it was just like, all right, well, I guess we're not doing anything this week.
Yeah.
You know what sucks like the last 2 days is I don't have allergies bad, but man, do I fucking feel it this weekend.
Oh, it's been horrible because
like I woke up like yesterday or whatever, and it's just like
I've been pre-gaming with that Zyrtec.
Yeah, I'm on the Claritin Life.
I don't do anything. I've never taken a pill for any of it. So like I feel a little bit miserable right now, and I've been outside all day, but I think that's helping. It's like you just get, whatever. You just get the schnozzes and the sinus crap, but
The thing is it was kind of late hitting, like, and now that the pollen's hitting in May, and it wasn't just like a little bit, like it hit hard, and so that's why it's so bad.
Yep.
Yeah. Which speaking of too,
Gross.
Bowser's down here now.
I got Bowser.
Yeah, let's get the dog sniffs.
There it is.
Yeah, we got the sniffs.
The sniffs.
Done.
Love it.
Real talk. I was talking to. Yeah, everyone's focused on the dog.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, doggy.
Excuse me.
It'd be a problem if I had a little wiener dog because he'd be chilling right here.
Yeah. So real talk, was talking about it this morning after kickboxing because I finally went to kickboxing after a week off. Yeah, that was a hard class. That was Linda and Lisa teaching, and like we had the windows open. And it was hot in there, so it was actually really fun. But Linda and Lisa want to do like an episode with like you and I. They're like, ooh, we should do an episode.
like come here and do it?
I don't know if
Or
do here,
whatever.
do it there, whatever.
That'd be
like,
kind of fun.
Like Lisa's like, yeah, we should do that. We should got some Irish whiskey, do all this other stuff. I was like,
Whoa.
I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out.
I'll be over here like, yeah, this is whiskey. They're like, looks like a Pepsi. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Linda and Lisa who run that place are like, they're a riot. They're pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's like kind of the abridged version of what I did. All the anime. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about. We should almost do like an anime episode or something. But I don't know. Something we all watch. So
Yeah.
Except me.
Well, yeah, true.
I could sit in the corner and go.
He is kind of the anti-weeb.
I'm pretty sure like you would actually like a lot of the stuff that we watch because we don't watch like the crazy weeby stuff. Like most of us watch the old stuff here. Well, no. I said most. Most of what we watch. Like, when it comes to me watching anime, like, I hardly watch anything in the past 10 years or so. Like, outside of, like, I watched JoJo. I wanted to check out Spy Family because that just came out, and that's, like, that's a really big Shonen Jump release. And it's supposed to be really good so far in the animation. But, like, after that, like, I think the last thing I watched was Beastars because I was reading the comic before that fell apart. And that literally fell apart. Oof. Like, yeah, that big oofs on that, and I don't want to talk about that right now. Topic for another time. So, anyway, Eddie, how was your week?
It was good. All right, and we're done. No,
Hey, wait, I already tried that.
No, so my Game Pass game of, I guess, like the past 2 weeks, I played Aliens Fireteam Elite, which is kind of three-player co-op shooter. And if you're a fan of Aliens, I recommend it. If you're like, you know who you like to play with and you want to play a co-op shooter for like a short stint, I would recommend it. Anything else, it's kind of a pass. There's just Bowser's getting energetic. Yeah.
Like anything that could come out of his face is just on me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anything that could is. Yeah, it was. It kind of lacks a little bit of polish, but in some areas, and then in other instances, it's like, oh, dude, this is like playing through a movie. It feels good. Like, I played as a class that used the smart gun because, dude, if that is an option in any game, I'm taking it. And it felt good. Like, it may not have been like, oh, I don't know, lore accurate. I don't really know much about Aliens lore, to be completely honest, but
it's a cool movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I look at it. It's a sweet movie.
Yeah, there are people who go like way down that, like you said, that rabbit hole of like they have like so many comics and there's all kinds of spin-off materials that like try to expand on it. And to me, it's really just like it's Vietnam Marines on a space colony fighting aliens. Like, that's awesome.
It's right next to like Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Very similar vein. Yeah. So, it's a tough recommend, and especially with the Game Pass, dude, I don't know if it's like the game itself or if it's just like the Xbox like matchmaking service is a horrible experience.
See, I heard that was a game. Like, I watched some people play it upon release when it came out, and like they were having hella problems with like the matchmaking.
It's bad. Like, trying to get like just to get invites to work. Like, we had actually a really fun bug. And it was basically every time you would send someone an invite and accept the invite, it wouldn't join in their game. It would launch another instance of the game and join with that.
Oh, so like Warzone.
Yeah. So you would have like at one point I alt tabbed out and I had like 5 instances of the game running because it would like crash and then we'd be like, oh, okay, well let's like rip apart the party and start over. So it's like by the end of like the second act, I had like 5 instances of the game running. I'm like I have like a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply next to me with the little wattage input, and it's like reading 400 watts. I'm like, why am I drawing so much from the freaking wall? And it's like, yeah, because my CPU and like graphics card pegged because it's running 5 instances of this freaking like Unreal game.
Yeah.
So it definitely has a lot of flaws, and one that is particular to note. I guess like it's a love it or hate it thing with the Aliens franchise. So if you like it, you'll play it. If you won't, if you don't, you won't. Connectivity wise, though, if you have it on the Game Pass, you can't play with people from Steam, and vice versa. Yeah.
Oh, really they want to make you pay for it. Right.
Yeah.
That is fair. Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody
fortunately,
Saves the World does that also.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Game Pass is always like just $1. But I also feel like Steam would probably have better integration with like the multiplayer stuff. So if you really like the game, maybe like if you already have the Game Pass, try it, and then if you like it, buy it on Steam. Because Xbox is, I can't like nail it down whether it's Xbox's fault or not, but that really soured the experience, I would say. Like just, every like 20 minutes, like, okay, well, we have to reform the party because either we got disconnected or someone crashed or, again, it launched another instance of the game.
I mean, real talk, the fix to that issue is like most of your Game Pass games, just play them on the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's honestly
that too.
the fix.
That is an option. I mean, really, I was playing it with a controller. Like I was trying mouse and keyboard, and I just hated the controls. And I was like, screw this. And I just turned my controller on, and it worked. And I was like, all right. Yeah. Playing it on Xbox is totally viable. It's not like there's mods or anything, so you don't have to worry about. Like, there's no real advantage to playing it on PC.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
As someone of the PC master race, it's not a game you need to play that way.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, most of the time, if it's on Game Pass as multiplayer, you're better off just playing it on the Xbox because then you're not going to run into the thing. There's some other games out there, like Nobody Saves the World, which is a really good indie game by, was it Drinkbox, the ones who made Guacamelee?
Oh, okay.
That's one I want to record. That's such a fun game.
Yeah.
But like that one, you cannot play the co-op. Like, there's no couch co-op for whatever reason, which is weird. But you can only play co-op if you're online, and you can't play it with a Game Pass copy.
Ugh.
And I mean, to be fair, it's an indie game. It's like $20, and that game deserves the money. It's really good.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like that kind of defeats the purpose of it being on Game Pass.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, what am I? It's kind of like a glorified demo at that point.
Yeah.
If any game is like kind of built around, or I wouldn't even say built around, but if it has like couch co-op as like kind of a feature. Because like at this point, that pool of games is kind of like shrinking every day. Mm-hmm. So it's like every game that comes out, like a lot of times when you see that feature, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to buy it for that reason alone.
Yeah.
Just to have something to play on the couch.
Couch co-op or like multiplayer versus and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like any of that local multiplayer stuff, like that's just getting harder and harder to find. So
yeah, seriously.
And then to get that locked out, it's just like, oh, come on.
Well, think like back in the day, like playing Halo 2 or something.
Oh,
like,
dude.
You wanted to be with your friend and stuff because we had so much, I don't want to say less technology or stuff, but less accessibility to it, I think.
It was just more primitive, really.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't have an Xbox till I got a 360.
Well, that's what I mean. I didn't either. So at least half of us in this room probably went over to the other half because they had this whatever system.
Yeah.
And at one point, like our buddy Jaron, like he would get the Xbox stuff and I would buy the PlayStation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that way, like neither of us or neither of our parents or wherever we were in life.
That was Matt and I.
Yeah,
he had the PlayStation, I had the Xbox. Yeah. And then eventually we kind of like both got the other side stuff. And then it was like, yeah, we both hate the GameCube.
Yo, real talk, GameCube still has like some of the best versions of games.
No hatred to the GameCube, just again, in that teenage brain of mine that's like, I want to die at a theme park. That was like, GameCube is stupid. It's purple.
It just didn't make the roster, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really.
I mean, real
played
talk,
the hell out of mine.
Also,
real talk, RE4 ran the best on the GameCube.
Oh, no, it did.
Like, hands down, like, it wasn't even a competition compared to the other ones.
Yeah, no.
Now that you say it, that might be what I actually played it on. I'm not sure if it was that or PlayStation. No, it was PlayStation 2.
You had it on PlayStation. I remember that.
I actually just found the disc the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, of all the ones to find, I find that.
Yeah, no, I think, again, unrelated tangent, I'm just going to drop it and then we move on. I think the main reason I hated the GameCube, aside from the purple color and me being 13, was that Nintendo controllers of that era
Awful.
were just the worst.
Awful.
I mean, to
current
be
Nintendo
fair,
controllers are
I
awful.
was going to say Nintendo really hasn't improved all that much. It's just they've gotten more technology in them.
Yeah, but they're still not good. Like, dude, my Pro controller's got stick drift. Like, the Joy-Cons are horrible. Like, yeah, like...
I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, even like the old like original Xbox Duke controller. Like, it felt pretty cheap, but like I don't know. Like aside from the sticks inevitably drifting, because that is the fate of any controller stick.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them still hold up really well.
I wish I still had one of those massive Xbox controllers.
I actually
The
do.
original.
And I
Do
wish- Yeah, I'm working on a project. I wouldn't really say like working on it actively, but my cousin and he used to mod the original Xbox like a lot.
Yeah.
And he kind of introduced me to the fact that like the controller ports on the front of the original Xbox, they're like that weird shape.
Yeah.
They're actually basically just USB 1.1 ports. So in theory, that controller should be USB compatible. I don't know if it's even possible to plug them in via USB into a computer and then play games with them, but that is a possibility I'm trying to explore over like months of inactivity.
Yeah. I mean, real talk. I remember that Duke, and I remember being like, "Oh man, this thing's like, why is it so big?" Right? Like, he's like, "This is kind of stupid. It was so big." But like looking back on it though, like now I'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Or like an N64 controller. Which I'm sorry, I got distracted for a minute and like wasn't listening because he was like literally consuming this ball.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, like nothing like the N64 controller where you're like, oh, I have like multiple spots.
I hated that thing.
I thought
really
it was
did.
the coolest thing because you had like the trigger and stuff. It felt like you were like had like a gun in your hand. Or you
See,
had,
I
like,
didn't hold it
like
that
a
way
cool
though. I
joystick.
held it like a mongoloid with like my left hand on the left hand grip and my right hand on the right hand grip, and my thumb would stretch across to hit the joystick on it. So
Yeah, I
like,
couldn't do that. I have much smaller hands. But
yeah. I mean, it worked, but I didn't like it.
looks like Jeremy has a talking point.
Oh, sorry.
The old N64 controllers, I used to have grip on the right, and then my left will be on the middle.
Oh my god, that. Well,
How the hell
I
did you
think
hit
that
A
is
and B
like.
all the time?
I did left on the middle.
Wait. Say that again. I
Have my right hand on the right side.
hand.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I'm confused.
I-
Right. So you're
Jeremy,
holding it
you're
like
backwards,
this.
bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
okay.
it backwards. So I was holding it like this.
This.
Yeah, I did the same
Yeah.
thing.
But then you could never use L or the D-pad. Like that was the part that was.
I
so
mean, truth be
irritating.
told, though, like I feel like the developers incorporated that because the L button was always pointless.
Yeah.
Like even in like Star Fox, like oh yeah, if you wanted to barrel roll left, it wasn't L, it was Z. Like they knew, which made it especially infuriating for me, being the one who had like I have my finger on the L trigger, but it does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing is I noticed I didn't have an N64, but every time I was like couch co-oping or paddle swapping with somebody wherever, like I never played a game where you would hold it. I'm going to call it like standard grip without using the middle. You would always use the middle.
Yeah.
So like it was weird. It was just like when do I use this other side?
There was mini games in Mario Party where it'd be easier to do it with like some of the mashing ones or some shit like that.
Oh,
where
true.
It'd be easier to hold it on that side than like in the middle. But like after that, like
Yeah, games that could like incorporate that weirdness, like they were fine. It's just, again, sometimes I just see Nintendo's design decisions, and I'm like, who did you like? What human did you design this for? And who like how many people did you get to sit down and be like, this is a good controller? Like, I'm still convinced, like not the Wavebird or whatever, but like the stock GameCube controller is. I don't like it.
Actually, I have a good Nintendo 64 controller story. Remember when in the Mario Party games where you have to spin?
Oh, dude, those
yeah.
sticks.
I literally wore blisters into my hands doing it.
Everybody did that.
Skin off,
everyone
like
did.
Yeah. It was first your skin and then the stick. Like that was.
yeah.
Like it would get to the point where it had like you would just like it wouldn't spring back. It would just like. That's the worst feeling.
I'm trying to remember what game, but there was some game where like you'd have to pretty actively like do the spin. It was like a grab attack from an enemy or something. I remember it was multiplayer, and I don't know who I was playing with, but like we both happened to get grabbed or something at the same time, and I just like did the whatever it was. It actually might have been RE4 because that's the only game that I feel like I've been like real good at. And it was one of those like somebody gets grabbed and they're like, oh, I gotta get out of this, and I was just like. And it was just like instant out, no damage, no nothing. I was just like, this is great. Like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm bleeding.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like integrating into my hand. I'm becoming the controller.
Yeah, again, it was extreme. We had to do it. It didn't matter if it involved physical pain.
Like, yeah, I broke my arm this morning, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I slipped with that knife and cut my hand real bad.
Oh, my God.
And it was, of course, my right hand, and the cast was like this. It wasn't a bone. It was, tendon and stuff. So you have to have it a certain way so they don't,
Yeah.
snap. But like, I'm like, well, I still want to play World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah,
So I got my right-handed mouse on my left hand. I was like, all right, guys, like I can lead this raid. But like, I'm just letting you know, I got to play with one hand on everything. So I just like programmed one button to just be the auto run. And I'm like, all right, now I can just click all the stuff. Like I can't run and click my hot bar at the same time, but you know what? It worked.
Yeah, yeah. I have a sweaty gamer story about that too. Yeah, I was playing like just all weekend, nonstop, like literally no sleep, nothing. And like at one point it was like 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I like fell asleep in my chair, and I woke up because I broke a window. Like my chair was like leaned back, and it like was pressing against the window, and I'm a heavy guy. So eventually it's like, it's just a solid pane. So it was just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I went right through the window. And then
I remember that window. I wasn't there for that, but I remember the window.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you might.
That was at the Orchard House,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I remember I went over there a couple times, but you had like the kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a great room, but you had that bigger room where you had most of your stuff set up, right?
Yeah.
And I remember there was that little kind of like alcovey area where you used to sit, right? Was it one of those windows?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it had to have been.
Yep. I just had my computer chair up against the back of it, and I'm just like, I'm trying to play. Like, it's a first-person shooter, too, so it's like not like a game where it's just like, oh, yeah, you click, or tab or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm like trying to like, okay, respawn, pick a load up, and then I just like started leaning back and fell asleep. And that was...
You wake up to it saying
it was extreme.
Yeah. You wake up like after the crack and you look at like the screen. It's like, you've made it to platinum. You're like, yeah.
Oh no, like it was one of those things where it's like the screen had turned off. Like I had been asleep for a little bit at that point. So like it went to sleep and I'm like, oh, what?
So I actually have a sweaty gamer story like that, but it's different. It was
okay.
some hardware malfunction.
Oh no.
So it's back to the WoW days. It was when I first played. Like, you remember back in like your kind of younger teen life when you could play a game and it really was like so immersive and such a good experience for you that like literally nothing else mattered.
Oh yeah.
You were in that game.
Absolutely.
Like that was probably one of the only games where I had that experience. I know WoW is not great these days. Whatever,
no, I mean,
all that crap,
but that was
the game.
Wow, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got it in 2004, 2005 when it came out.
Yeah,
and played
vanilla
it.
into BC was
was
like
good.
peak WoW, and then like Lich King was like, okay,
It started to dip, then Pandaland dipped even more, then it kind of went back up, and
yeah.
now we don't have to talk about what comes up to, but like anyway, so I was just like really into that, whatever 14-year-old me, whatever. Old. And like it was just on my dad's PC he used to, surf the internet, do a little bit of work, whatever, playing on a CRT, I think. Actually, no, it was flat screen, but it wasn't a gaming computer at all. It was like it was a home office computer from like 2000.
Yep.
And like I turned the graphics down, or actually I think my dad turned them down because I just like I wasn't smart back then. I just wasn't. I didn't bloom yet.
Yeah.
So I had no idea how any of this worked.
That is very good.
Yeah. I mean, but so I played it just a ton as my little Tauren warrior, my first character, running around, and I played it so long, and I don't know how long I actually physically sat there and didn't get up, but eventually the computer just turned off.
Oh no!
And I was like, well, what's wrong? And at this point, somebody had told me to get off the computer quite a few times. It was just one of those things. I'm a teen, and I've been on that too much.
Yeah.
Even to today's standards, I would have told myself it's time to go.
Yeah.
But, so it wouldn't turn on either. It just like almost fried. But for whatever reason, it like deadlocked itself. It's like, I'm hot and I've been this way for too long.
Oh yeah.
And like, I just maxed that thing out.
It just cooked itself.
Yeah. So like my dad got on it and he was pretty pissed.
Oh yeah.
Because I just like fried his computer that he used. So that was pretty bad. I didn't get to play for a few days. And then like my dad being like kind of Like, if you're doing something you're not supposed to, or it's dangerous or whatever, he'll just be angry.
Yeah.
He'll just be, like, mad. But in my adult life, I understand it and I accept it. Like, don't put your goddamn hand under that stone, slab we're moving around, which is like a 1,000-pound piece of granite. I'm like, oh, we're gonna put the pipe under there. But he's just like, you're gonna cut your goddamn fingers off. And I'm just like, stop. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. But it's one of those, like, his tactic was, if I'm like this up front, he's not gonna do it again. And it worked.
Right.
So yeah, he was pissed about the computer. Like a week goes by, and he goes, oh, why don't you try your game again? I'm like, I thought it was like banned. And it turns out he went and bought like new components for it and put a graphics card in it. He was like a nice guy.
Oh, that's
it
kinda
was just
sweet.
some cheap off the shelf, probably like $100 at the time. But it was
Yeah,
enough
but
to like
still.
crank the graphics down and just play. And
Nice.
the computer wasn't just like on fire. Like you put your hand on it and pull your hand away like on the case.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But it actually like, I don't know what it was. It was a couple days before it turned back on. Like he had to really like tinker with it. But
Dang.
yeah, that was my sweaty gamer story.
I do have one unrelated story. I think we're running out of time, but it's not sweaty gamer, but it reminds me of that. Like when you said like, oh yeah, you just played on like the family computer because that's like what everybody did.
That's what everyone did.
Yeah.
Red Alert.
Yeah.
Red Alert 2. Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
I don't
Like,
know what it was, but there was this tank game.
Ah,
It was some sort of tank game I used to play all the time. But
Not World of Tanks, right?
no,
I'm talking like
before.
I'm talking
Way
like
before.
Like a decade before.
like 98 to 2000.
Oh,
I was
okay.
playing.
Yeah.
Recoil. Was it called Recoil?
We'll look it up after.
Okay, because I played the crap out of that.
Really boxy, like the grass was just flat.
Yeah. I mean, it was like that early like 3D era. But yeah, so like everybody playing on the family computer, and one of my friends, Taylor, he would play. We would all play like 40K Dawn of War at the time,
Oh, man.
and he would play it on like his family's like e-machines or something, which is fine because that game's like so low spec it doesn't care. Like it'll just play it. But the thing is, like, this is in the day of like, I mean, Steam was still around, but everybody used Xfire. And it was like one of those programs that like tracked what game you were playing and like logged your hours, kind of like that weird, like primitive gaming social network kind of things. And his dad, like, Taylor had it for like so we could chat to him, but he very rarely used the computer. So as a running gag, like his Xfire account had like 1,300 hours of like Spider Solitaire and only like 50 hours of Dawn of War because he just like would stay logged in and his dad wouldn't know to turn it off. So like, and he would like, play Spider Solitaire and then like just walk away from it. So like the game would still be running.
Oh.
And it's just amazing because like you look at like again, you can't anymore because Xfire's dead. But if you looked at his profile, it would be like, yeah, like his top like favorite game was Spider Solitaire.
And you know what? Even back then, you could put that game on, and it wouldn't take anything to run. So who cares if you left it on for 5,000 days?
No, exactly. And again, like he'd just have like, he'd leave his web browsers open and all this stuff because like his dad, he's like one of those types where the computer's an appliance.
Yeah.
He's not, like he doesn't know. So he's just like, I browsed the web, I found what I needed, and I walked away from it. Or, this woman told me to print out a document, so I printed out a document and I walked away from it. Like, that's just what a computer is to some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, like having like some old ass HP or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And playing like Red Alert 2 on like a family computer. And like I remember I'd be doing like stupid shit and I'd be like, could I fill the screen with conscripts if I was playing Russia? And, like stupid shit like that.
Yep.
Like it was the family computer. It was like, all right, well, it's a computer.
Yep.
No one else used it for games until like my dad found Counter-Strike, and then that's how I found like FPS. I found like 1.6 and I was like, what is this?
Yep. Yeah, that was a golden age.
That kind of kicked that off for me.
Yep.
And then I went rather than keeping with like that, like I didn't go the direction of a lot of people where they went Quake. I actually went Unreal. I loved Unreal.
I was going to say, I think that's pretty common. I feel like that's a 50-50 split. Like some people went to Quake, some people went to UT.
See, I always feel like people went more towards Quake than they went to UT when it came to multiplayer shooters.
I don't know because I went to UT as well. And like all my friends did. So like I played Quake and I liked Quake, but like, I don't know. I enjoyed the variety of Unreal Tournament more.
I guess just in hindsight, like I knew more people who ended up on Quake than on Unreal.
Yeah, I think it was just like friend group, like whatever like everybody was playing is was kind of like the game you all migrated. I mean, that's still like the thing today. You know, you get like 3 people playing one game, and it's like, oh well, you got a couple extra friends, so it's like, oh yeah, you guys should get this, okay, and then you're all playing it together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jeremy, get Stardew Valley when you build your PC, so you can then put in hundreds of hours like me and Sean on our farms, or anybody else.
Get Dead by Daylight.
Okay, if you actually get Stardew, I'll get it. Actually, I technically already have it on PlayStation.
Oh,
Dead by Daylight's free.
oh, here we go.
Deal.
Oh, look at that.
We're gonna shake on it.
Yep.
There's gonna be views.
This is
the best trade deal ever.
yes, I receive.
This you receive.
Yep, that's on camera. So
Well, I guess we may as well end it on that. So, Matt, you want to take us out?
Yeah.
Pick us out.
Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you guys listening to our channel. You will see us again next week for sure. I am Matt, or Caddy Killjoy 666 on Instagram. And next on the roster, guys. Oh, yeah, definitely shout out to Jeremy for joining us this week for sure.
J-Dog.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm Jeremy, or you'll find me on Discord as Mightiest Yeti.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
I was hoping you were just gonna go. Yep.
I was halfway expecting
Yeah.
that. You took the mic, just go, yep, and pass it
There
along.
was enough of a pause where I was just like, I guess he's done.
You give like the Boomhauer answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the friend advice you want when you're talking earlier about having the guy helping you with your car.
Well, that's what I meant when
You
he
want
just-
the guy
Yep.
with the. Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
Because at some point, being like we'll call it fourth person view, it's just like they can look at the just dumb stuff. I almost said a gamer word, by the way. It was so close.
Yeah.
You all know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff you're doing, and since they're watching you do it, they have like a different angle that's probably better than whatever you're doing. And they're like, why don't you just do it that way? And you're like, what are you talking? Oh, all right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you can find me on YouTube under Grizzly, Grizzlea. And then like Insta and the others is Grizzly TV. I gotta figure something out about that just because like I have 2 channels, both under Grizzly and Grizzly TV on YouTube, but just go to the Grizzly. The Grizzly TV is like dead. I don't own that Google account anymore. So and that account's kind of
Don't trust that other Grizzly. He's a dork. Yeah. You don't listen to anything he has to
so
say.
Grizzlea on YouTube. I wish I could just change it to like Lee. Like if I could just be Lee, that'd be real nice.
That'd be.
Yeah, just search Lee, Lea. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and rate the show 5 stars if you like it on Spotify. Or if you hate our faces, just listen on Spotify. You know, how it is.
Like,
We should
And tell us.
We should have opened up with that before they started listening. Like, hey, rate us 5 stars. Like, why would I rate?
you mean like everybody on YouTube doing like car stuff? Like, hey, by the way, rate, like, comment, subscribe.
It's like, dude,
And
you're not
didn't
even a minute in.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me to do
You know what
that?
I respected
Well,
one
so-
day? Somebody actually said that, and they said, you know what? I'm not going to say that like everybody else. I'm going to give you a little bit of content so you can decide if you like me or not. I'm like, okay, that's solid.
The idea is that drives interaction, which drives the algorithms that control all social media.
The algorithm.
No, seriously, like they want to see interaction with the channel,
I know.
Yeah.
and like so yeah.
I just love the idea of the algorithm as some kind of unseeable digital deity.
You know, there's one person sitting in front of that like desk with all the monitors. They're all CRTs. It's
He's
like
that guy from The Matrix.
Well, no, not the guy from the Matrix. What's I'm trying to remember the.
I was thinking of the TSA guy from South Park.
No.
Security breach.
I can't remember the character's name, but they made it like an 80s theme movie. It's where the guy goes through time and he ends up fighting Hitler. You know that movie?
I know the one.
You know the guy in the shack, and he puts like the power glove on. You know the 90s.
Kung Fury. Is that what you're talking
Kung
about?
Fury. I think it's Kung Fury. Wait a minute. I think it's Kung Fury. It's like
It's
25 minutes
it's
long.
like 80s style.
Hacker
Yeah,
Man.
20
It's Hacker Man.
Yeah, Hacker Man. Yeah,
that's who I'm
Kung
thinking of.
Fury.
When he just
Yep.
does like that 80s like turn, and he just like puts the glove on and looks serious with his like shaved mullet and
yeah,
glasses. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the only guy who knows about the algorithm.
The algorithm.
The-
For all we know, he's the architect.
He's the architect.
Yeah.
He's like the guys from Fifth Element.
Yeah.
But anyways,
All right, yeah. I think we've gone on long enough with this.
just end this on
Nothing else?
Yep.
No shout outs, nothing?
No. Oh, I bought a car. That's it.
And I sold the car.
We'll just leave
He
that.
bought one, I sold one,
That's
and he
it.
didn't buy my car before anybody asked.
Wow.
If anybody does.
Yep.
Congratulations, guys. New vehicles all around.